Hey everybody, this is Matt Brown here from VegasOdds.com, and this is your weekly rundown. Now, if I had to pick a word and try to describe this week's news, I'd say that word is tension. Let me explain it to you by talking real fast about the BMW Championship, which went into a 6-hole playoff between Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Cantlay. Tensions were rising at the BMW Championship. I mean, that could have been an understatement. 6-hole playoff rounds. Whether it's tension for something that's coming up soon, or there was tension leading up to an event that just happened, like a little boxing match in Ohio that set the influencing world on fire. If you told me a year ago that we'd be talking about a YouTube star being the most talked about undefeated boxer in the world, I tell you, you're crazy. Here we are. Still undefeated, and now 4-0 Jake Paul beat Tyron Woodley via split decision in the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in his hometown of Cleveland. As Woodley came in a known striker, though not a boxer, Paul was just more aggressive than Woodley, landing 71 punches to Woodley's 52. That's where the scoring came down to. Even though the biggest punch came from Woodley in the 4th round, it got Paul a little wobbly, but that was about it from Woodley. He was just too tentative from then on. Didn't seem to want to pull the trigger. Question now becomes, what's next for Jake Paul? Maybe a rematch with Woodley because of the toughness of this match, or we may want to see a real boxer. And that time of year has come. Football is back. The big focus was on the Big Ten season debut as Illinois just outplayed Nebraska 30-22 in an exciting game. HBCUs were featured as well in the MEAC SWAC Challenge as NC Central beat Alcorn State thanks to a great 4th quarter performance by NC Central. That happens in a few days in terms of the NCAA having all of their teams starting their seasons, and college football will be in full swing. Some great matchups coming this Saturday, some ranked matchups, and I'm so excited. You can follow all of this at VegasOdds.com to see the odds, to see the updates, to see what's going to happen this weekend in college football. Let's move to the NFL, where the season is just around the corner with major headlines to go over. The Ravens starting running back J.K. Dobbins tore an ACL in a preseason game against Washington and will be out for the entire season. Big blow to the Ravens, who will now rely on veteran Gus Edwards to lead their backfield. In Minnesota, they may be without their starting tight end, Irv Smith Jr. for a while, after he underwent a surgery to repair a meniscus injury he sustained in their final preseason game. The timetable for recovery on that can vary widely, so they'll have to see how he feels in the coming weeks. And trades are still happening in the NFL, as the biggest one was the Jaguars moving Gardner Minshew to the Philadelphia Eagles for a conditional 6th round pick. The Eagles already have a starter in Jalen Hurts, but they may view Minshew as a solid backup that can deliver should they need him to. The Jags just named their starter in highly touted rookie and number 1 pick, no surprise here, Trevor Lawrence, and trading Minshew might have taken a little bit of pressure off of his back, but they also lose a solid backup should something happen to Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see how the Jags move on from Minshew. And in the MLB, tensions rose in Flushing, Queens, as some New York Mets players have had it with their fair weather fans. After hitting a home run, recently acquired, Javier Baez trotted around the bases, touched home, and then put 2 thumbs down and started booing the crowd. The Mets were home for this game. They were the home team. He was essentially booing his own fans, basically. Why? Well, Baez explained that he didn't appreciate them booing the team when they were struggling, as the Mets have had a very disappointing second half of the season. Their hopes from winning the division have just gone almost down to 0 as we head to the final weeks of this season. With a losing record and around 8 games back in their division, should this whole controversy really turn their season either up or down? Probably not. They're already on that downward turn. Now, in one of the most surprising turnarounds of the summer, we move to soccer. Cristiano Ronaldo is back with Manchester United. It was a whirlwind of a 48-hour period that included Ronaldo informing his now former team, Juventus, that he wanted to leave. His agent beginning talks with Manchester City, the crosstown rival of Man United, and then finally Man United stepping in and securing a deal that would send a transfer fee of 15 million euros and 8 million euros in add-ons to Juventus for possibly the greatest player of the 21st century so far. Ronaldo returns to England and the stadium Old Trafford, a place where he shined as a young star before leaving for Real Madrid 12 years ago. The contract is set for 2 years and worth about 25 million pounds a year. This is not expected to be his final contract with Manchester United. So who knows, he's 36 now. Maybe he'll be on the team when he's 40. Well, that's it for me this week. You can always go to VegasOdds.com for the latest sports news and betting updates. I'm Matt Brown, and I'll see you next time.